Hello, Elise. I was just watching the response to cop overdose on weed, which is funnier than the original cop overdose on weed. I was laughing so hard. 305636 put it on, and then for some reason I decided to watch the response to the response. It just seemed funny, so I decided to do the kind of the same thing. Respond to your video, and you only have one comment right now by Proud White Woman or something. Right, so I went and watched the documentary White Nationalism, Prussian Blue. There's 5 parts to it. I watched the whole thing. And there was a couple things that I was wanting to talk about in response to your response since I've watched it. It's a documentary about 2 little girls who, well, women now I guess, who were in a band that was basically them two, and they became this image for white power. And the video, or the documentary, really shows the side of the mother's role in manipulating them into doing her propaganda against non-white people. And there was a couple of things that were disturbing about it, and I don't want to see any comments about freedom of speech, blah blah blah. I totally believe in freedom of speech. If you feel you have white power, white pride, you can go ahead and scream it off of a mountaintop. But what disturbed me was, first of all, this woman, April, her mother, when she first talks to the guy, whoever's doing the documentary, I never really got that, although I didn't really watch the credits very well. When she talked to him the first time, she mentioned briefly that she was afraid she would end up in a body bag. So she's afraid her daughter is gonna somehow kill her for speaking her mind. So this woman is afraid of her daughter to that point, which just seemed a little bit extreme to me, regardless of the whole rest of the context of the documentary. Your response to it was kind of more one of being kind of shocked and appalled. I mean, I've seen a fair bit of white pride, personally and through the media, so I can understand April's point of view almost more, because the media obviously most of the time adopt a politically correct view. They don't want to get in trouble. That's why they do it. And April seems to just get into this paranoid delusion. This is the mother of the daughters, April. She gets into this whole fantasy about how anyone who disagrees with her is somehow, I don't know, she doesn't understand why. Seems to be what she seems to think. When she talks about being attacked by a black man, even in the story of how it happened, it seems like she's holding on to this memory and harboring it as like a personal truth about what all black men would do. Okay, he has a little bike, then she thinks he must have stolen it. Somewhere in her body language, this might have been revealed to this black man. I don't know the exact context. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he was just a really bad person. Bad people come in all shapes and packages, so it could have been. He could have just been a horrible rapist. Anyways, she's holding on to this. She's holding on to this memory. And as much as it's not a good thing to get attacked, I don't support people who attack other people for no apparent reason. you gotta move on. I mean, I know a couple people, women especially, who have been attacked and they feel like they need to harbor some resentment towards the world in some way. And I guess this is the way that her anger is being dealt with, by believing in white power and white nationalism. And then she goes on, I kind of mentioned this, she goes on to talk about the FBI, or not the FBI, but the media and the FBI are surveillance. I'm sure she's on a million red lists, as well as her daughters are going to be somewhere in a file somewhere for quite a while. She says, I don't know, I was going nowhere with that rant. But anyway, she says in part 4 of 5, I believe, that because she's caused so much sensationalism, she must be doing something right. And it's funny because in the end, in part 5 of 5, when she really gets confronted by this British guy, I should have found out his name before making this video probably, when she gets confronted about wanting to be a martyr and putting herself out there for the cause, the daughters don't want to be dealing with this. They see that they've caused a lot of upheaval and chaos and hate, and I think they put the pieces together that there's a reason why so many people are against what they have been standing for, and a reason why they don't want to stand for it anymore. And I think that they rise above what their mother has taught them, and there seems to be no way out for them. And I'm really kind of concerned for them. I hope that their grandmother found them and they ran away to somewhere, because it seems like a really unhealthy environment. I mean, it would be almost more sad if they did truly believe in it and they were going full-heartedly for it. But at least then I could sleep at night. Now it just seems like they're forced to do this thing. Like any child celebrity that's being pushed by a parent, they're just like trapped in this life until they're 18, when they're just gonna go crazy. And I worry about what might happen at that point. Another thing, she complains about the media having slants, and then she has her own radio show promoting racism, it sounds like, from the 2 seconds of it on the documentary. So where does she draw the line between criticizing the media and becoming the media? And then I also wonder I don't know, I just like to hear this radio show. Maybe I'll look it up later. But, yeah. What do you think about the video? Go watch it. I guess I'll copy and paste your links that you had to your original response. And hopefully other people will watch it and think about it. Everyone's allowed their own opinions. So if you think that your problems are because of other people who you've never met and who happen to look different than you and speak a different language, then go right ahead and run with that. But if you want to live a happy, full life, maybe just stay concerned with yourself and getting what you want, and not caring whether someone's crossing your border and maybe you need to shoot them 7 times. I don't know, like, there's this weird thing that I have about Americans and their hate of Mexicans. Like, you realize that the South used to be part of Mexico. Some of it, parts of it, that and the rest that you stole from the native people, but, you know, I'm sure they made A-okay in the end. Anyways, this is getting way too long. I'm gonna post this.